welcome back to another episode of Boxing with your host, Knowles, with none other than the one and only Unbaer. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing amazing.
A lot's happened within the last year. You've gone from being a small creator to being in with the boys, you know what I mean, and with the top people.
Nah, I went from being a small creator to a slightly bigger small creator. That's where I'm at right now.
Trust me, you've done a lot for yourself within the last few months. Unlike other boring interviews you've had, this is where we get to learn more about you and how you became where you are today, and just you. How did you get into the actual scene?
I mean, I've always loved making videos. I
Yeah.
used to make videos when I joined my sixth form, which is college, and people were making fun of me for it. Like, people would take photos of me and airdrop it or share the TikToks that I was doing back then, and it kind of bothered me, but I just kept going with it, and I got a job at TikTok, and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go and do my own thing. So I started making videos, and then before I even went to my first day at uni, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna drop out of uni. I didn't go into my first day, yeah, and started making videos. Snuck into a bunch of Misfits events because I live really close to one of the stadiums, and yeah, then I just met some people, and they were like, hey, you got like a bit of a TikTok following, because I had a few 100K at the time on TikTok.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got into the ring, just did what I did.
You had the fight with Corn.
Yeah, I did have a fight with Corn, and it was really fun. I just always wanted to be part of something like that. So I was like, why not? I'm not very athletic. I'm not a good boxer. But I was like, I'm going to just go there for vibes, and left with vibes.
You've done one of the best promotions for any Misfits event so far as a smaller creator as well. Like,
even Leo Will said it himself.
You've done some mad stuff. You've snuck into like a museum and then put the Misfits poster next to the Mother Teresa. Like,
I mean, I go into these things not trying to win by an impressive knockout or not try to have the best performance. But I always have the mindset that, okay, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna scrap. But what am I gonna do before that? Am I gonna show the people what I can do in terms of promo, in terms of the skill that I've learned over the past few years of making videos? Or am I just gonna be lazy, sit back and just maybe rely on a 50-50 fight? So I just go all out making videos, get some ideas from like Nico, because Nico's obviously done these things multiple times. So I just get a bunch of ideas together and try to promote using those ideas.
You've done some illegal shit.
Yeah.
What is that illegal shit that got you to where you are?
I've always really been a crazy guy.
That's not a bad thing, though.
Climb buildings whenever I get tipsy. I just I just like living on the edge, and whatever I can record and put on my YouTube channel that I know that I won't get arrested for, then I'll just go and do that.
That's what I like, bro.
Yeah, man, but a lot of the things that I do that are even crazier are just stuff that I do on a regular basis with my friends.
What turned your mindset to just take the risks?
I've always been really shit at school. I never really got good grades. I kept getting kicked out of I got kicked out of my first school. I started getting in trouble since like year 4, and yeah,
That's something you'll do, to be honest.
Sorry.
It does sound like something you'll do, to be honest, especially with what you've done with promoting and all that crazy stuff, like trying to swim in the River Thames and stuff.
Yeah, that was too much.
And then putting up the Misfits poster in the most famous art gallery.
Yeah, I mean, I've just always been creative, and in school, like some of the subjects were really boring for me. I did get some decent grades. I did get my GCSEs, if anyone was wondering. But I just always, I was always a creative person, and seeing people on YouTube, like seeing Nico was really inspiring. Seeing people like KSI when he used to do the like public videos and stuff, it used to really inspire me to want to get out there, because I've always really been so very social, and just YouTube's always been a dream. And this year I've got a few crazy videos planned. It's always like video ideas isn't always like a hard thing for me to think of. because I'm always writing down ideas, always thinking about ideas. But it's trying to turn those insane ideas into reality.
Yeah.
That's the hard part. So I'm in between some recording stages for some crazy videos right now.
I'm not surprised. Yeah, with you, anything's possible.
Yeah. I mean, with everyone, anything's possible. Just put your mind to something that you love, and over time, if you're consistent with it, you're gonna reap the rewards.
100%. You've got to manifest it, and the more you manifest, the more it comes into reality.
Fuck manifestation, though. Just get the fuck out of bed and do whatever you want. That's what I believe.
Yeah,
You can't say I'm an Aquarius, so you know what? I'm gonna own an aquarium. Nope, it's not gonna happen, mate. You gotta go and learn about fishes and shit. I'm waffling right now, but just do what you love, man. Always be respectful and always appreciate people whenever they support you or whenever they even leave a comment on your videos. It's always important to do small things like that because at the end of the day, a YouTuber is somebody with a community, and if you don't take care of your community and if you don't nurture it, if you don't give time to the people that are in it, it's gonna die.
true. That I was literally talking about that with my two other guests earlier. Like with this scene in the small creator scene, I've noticed too many people are getting too big, like for their boots, in the sense of they're trying to not put in the work, not support each other, and then just expect a hand. That's not how it works. You've got to, you've all like that's what I've noticed. That's a big problem I've noticed in the last few months of the year. Last year, the small creator scene was starting to separate, and there was just expecting hands out, like, and it just got to the point where I was like, yo, this scene even needs to turn its fucking head on, otherwise shit's going downhill. And it's to see that within the space of a month or two, like everyone's finally started to actually come together rather than fuck who you're fighting. Like, who cares where you're from? Who cares like whereabouts in the country you're from? Bro, we're a community for a reason. It doesn't matter how big or small we are. We're all in this together. We all need to come together and support each other for it to work.
Yeah, 100%. Everyone's stronger together than they are apart.
True, and that's what I'm finally thankful that the community, the small creator scene is starting to realise. Like, you can't just get it. You have to work for it. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen two people for too long in the last few months just expect things without putting in the work, without actually doing anything, just expecting someone to come along and just give it. Now, that's not how it works. You've got to put in the time. You've got to put in the work. You've got to do it overtime. You've got to do more. You've got to do more than your best creator does. You just got to do as much as possible. Because the more you do, the easier and the more it'll pay off. That's why a lot of people need to take a lot of more leaps out of your work. Because, like, from where you started off at the start of the year,
getting to know the people that I've come into contact with over the last year has been insane. Getting to meet a lot of my idols, getting a lot of advice from them. It's just been amazing, man. Like, I wouldn't have changed anything this year, even after losing to Korn in the second fight. I think it was very necessary because I think if I beat him, I would be I'd be so into the boxing scene, and I wouldn't broaden my horizon over what kind of YouTuber I want to be. Instead, I'd just be focusing entirely on Misfits.
that's what I think sometimes needs to happen to quite a few creators in the scene for them to actually realise where they're at. And because I noticed, like, people just think, for example, as much as I like Anthony Taylor, it pains to see him just grapple his way to the top. Like, a lot of people are starting to realise he needs to actually fight and actually learn the basics.
I mean, his fights aren't the most entertaining, but at the end of the day, he's where he is because of it. So he's done very well for himself. So big shout out Anthony Taylor. He did say he's gonna start changing his fighting style. So I can't wait to see how he changes it in his next fight and if he goes back on his promise, depending on his opponent.
It all depends who he's going to pull up against. Because I do feel that he has the potential. He just needs to show it. Because all we've really seen is him. We all knew from the start his grappling game was going to be one of the best because he's done May and stuff like that. So we all knew his grappling game, his defense is going to be very high. But we've not really much seen of the boxing side, his knowledge in the boxing side of the scene, which we all want to see. Because I reckon as soon as he taps into that, he's gonna achieve more. He's gonna be fighting a lot of bigger names than he's fighting at the moment.
I mean, I think you're right about that. His style is really it's winning him the fights, but it's making these bigger opponents that are seeing how he fights not want to fight him because it's just not going to be entertaining. But he is very entertaining. The guy himself, every press conference, he's the star of the show. I think he'd do amazing in Hollywood. He's even before fights, his promo is quite good. I remember his 007 promo, I think it was, or 008 promo.
Yeah, when he was literally yeah, when he's all 007. James Bond.
I loved it, all of it. But I think the only thing is left is the fighting style.
Yeah, 100%. Everything else is top notch. With just needs to focus on his fighting style now. So I think once he's tapped into that, we're going to see a whole new side because he's already got the defense. He's already got the tight like in the clinch. All that done, he just needs to actually throw a punch and gonna do crazy bits. That's like there's just so much that needs to happen in this scene for it to go crazy, and that's why I respect Mam so much and JJ because the amount people don't realize the amount of impact that JJ's had on this scene and Mams. Like I cannot thank Mams enough for the opportunities he's given me, like being able to do media and stuff, and just from being 18, starting up a small creative boxing company, to then a few months later doing my first event, and then a week later doing media for Misfits 004, like, and just getting all the networking with people, like, it's something I just absolutely love doing is networking, meeting new people, seeing people from different walks of life, and just connecting. I think
that's the best part of Misfits, just the people that
you can meet some people you never thought you would meet. Like one of my, I know as much as I said I signed, but when I was from young, I've always wanted to meet JJ, and just last year in 22nd in 2022 in December, there was the KSI versus Dylan Dennis kickoff press conference, and well, of course, Dylan didn't arrive. Usual excuse. I was invited by the head of media at the time, Joe, who was the head of the media at the time, and I got the chance to meet JJ, and I was just like, and I started it sounding like we're in my last complete. All I've got to do now is just focus on myself because like I've always the amount
of fan 2.0.
What you say?
The fan 2.0. I've completely met JJ.
When you've been watching him since like FIFA and all that, it makes you realise how much this guy's done for the scene.
Yeah, he's a busy man.
No one can compete to the level that JJ has worked at. He's just no one will ever, and I mean ever, will be able to do the things he's done from where he started. He's had the most crazy and just it's hard to explain, but this guy has done too much for the scene, but doesn't get recognised enough for it. Same with Mams.
Mams worked so hard, man. Big shout out to Mams.
In it,
24/7 working.
It deserves. Like, if it wasn't for Mams,
imagine how much Mams does. He has to plan an event. He has to pick the fighter slots. He has to make sure the fighters are on weight. He has to make sure they all sign the contracts in time. Make sure them and their team are there. If it's in America, he has to make sure that everyone has the right license for it. Plus, on top of that, he threw an amazing after party after 008, which is insane. He checks up on everybody as if like friends. He calls them. He gives opportunities to so many people. Even said like yourself, he's given you media to some of the events. Like He's he works quite hard, man, and people need to give him his flowers now.
I think as well as that, he's got a record label. He's got to run. All these
And
artists.
that's the Misfits that we're talking about right here. He's got a whole other world outside of this.
No, I mean, he's not just boxing. He does he does music as well. That's where he started from. The good old music days, back with the old Snoop Dogg and all that stuff. Bro,
Yeah.
people don't really do enough research into Mams. Like you don't see any other record label CEO venturing into boxing, taking the risk that Mams is taking, and reaping the rewards and giving everyone, and I mean everyone, the opportunity.
Yep.
It's crazy.
It's never going to be done again, I think. No,
impossible to be remade. Misfits is going to be the only big promotion, and then you'll have like, of course, your small creator boxing, which will always be like which will always be my focus of building the small creators so they can.
I don't really like a lot of the small creator boxing events. I think it's really dumb and dangerous. Like there's so many clips online where they don't even have medical professionals there, and people getting injured.
That's what I worry about with quite a few events. One thing I ensured with my first event was because I knew quite a few people who are medically trained and stuff. And bro, if you remember back to Aaron Nicarrot, my first event, which was the main event, which was Tobster versus Aaron Nicarrot. As soon as Tobster was, bro, as soon as we knew straight away like you needed thingy. So the first thing we did, we got the medical professionals in because I had what's it called, medics there and everything, which the rest of the events have not been able to do properly. Is get the right medical team, because you can have the best production, you can have the best fights, but if you don't have a medical team, automatically I think the event's failed, because your main priority is the fighter's health, your fighter's mentality, and just overall make sure the fight's safe.
Yep. I mean, if you're putting people in there that are going to risk their lives, and you don't have the correct people to check them after the fight or during the fight, like Cutman, it shouldn't even start. The battle shouldn't even begin.
And that's why I was happy that I put in all the placements in. The main thing I focused on first was the venue. Before the venue, was the medics. And thankfully, I know people that have been in a medic doing that, who were medically trained for the last 20 to 30 plus years. So as soon as Tobster was, his nose got mashed up, we sent him straight to the hospital, got him checked over. We had all the right people there, and I stayed up until 2 a.m. in the morning with my missus, and we went to pick him up straight from the hospital, and we drove back to the hotel and made sure it was all safe. And he was thankful for it. I was like, yo, Connor, like, I can't thank you enough, because I generally think if you didn't take all these precautions and do all that, I generally don't think I would be as in the best hands I could have been. So I was as soon as I said that, I was like, bro, I don't care about anything else. All I care about is make sure my fighters are safe and all of that. Fuck everything else. As long as the fighters are safe, I'm happy.
100%, man. That's the main priority, man. Make sure that they're as good as they were before they fought.
True that, because literally they're putting a lot. I think a lot of people that don't understand about this influence scene and that is people literally putting their life on the line. And as soon as you think about your life, that shit can get taken like that.
Yeah.
So like people need to really. That's what I like about Misfits as well, and Mums, and what everyone does in the Misfits scene is Mums make sure that everyone's being kept to as they needed to, and he just does everything above and beyond, make sure the fighters are safe. He cares more about the fighters than anything else, because without the fighters, there's not a show.
Yep. He finds people in last minute as well.
True. I don't know how he does it, but he does it. even in the last fucking stages of the day, bro, just pull someone out of the bag and it ends up coming the best event.
Yeah. What a G.
100%. Oh yeah, I think you're ready to go, aren't you? Because you can tell you're getting a bit tired, aren't you, bro?
It's quite late, man. You just messaged me and you're like, "Hey, you down to the interview?" I was like, "Yeah, man, I'm down whenever, man. You can do it right now." Because I can't really do it on Sundays. That's church and family day.
Yeah, yeah,
But
rest
thank
it,
you for
mate.
having me on here, Connor, man. I really appreciate it, brother.
Bro, it's been good. This is what I hate about quite a lot of interviews and that. They're just too boring.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like you're having a job interview where they're just asking you questions, giving you answers. Whereas I just want to be getting more insight, giving them more insight to the creators and everyone. Because like I don't feel like the people doing enough in the media scene as well. They're just asking you questions. They're not getting a proper in-depth insight to who you are or who the person is. That's why like it needs to happen because people need to know who you are, and the only way people can know who you are is by getting actual insight to the person themselves.
Yeah.
And to
Totally
know
agree, man.
where they came from, how they all started, and just what led them to the journey.
And I think it'll inspire a lot of people too.
That's what I intend to do. Is make sure the small creators and everyone in the influencer scene are here to stay because this shit's fucking amazing, and there's no chance I'm leaving anytime soon.
Yeah, it's gonna be around for.
Even with my little girl coming next month, I'm still gonna be doing this stuff.
So what's coming next month?
My little girl, I've got a daughter on the way. Yeah.
Oh
That's
wow!
actually
Congratulations,
it.
man.
I know. When I last spoke to you, to now, bro, got a kid coming next month.
Flipping hell! Congratulations, man. How old are you?
19.
I'm older than you. What the
Damn.
hell?
I've been with my missus for 7 years this year.
Damn, bro, you look like flipping Luke. What's his name? Luke.
Little.
Yeah, bro, you look like him.
Oh, joke, man. Well, I feel old. Trust me, I'm only 19, but the problem is I was looking at this at 15. You know what I mean?
Hell,
I'm just really doing it.
You should have taken up darts, my friend, man. Maybe you'd
Mate,
you want to win the World Cup.
mate, influencer boxing is more my thing. I just love social media, boxing, and just everything about influencer. And mate, I just can't wait for this year
This is gonna be crazy.
with all the media stuff and all that stuff. Can't wait. The reason why I've left more away from the posting events is because of course having a little kid in it, you know what I mean? Whereas with doing media and stuff, it's a lot more versatile, easy to work around when you've got a kid and that. Whereas when you've hosted events and that and gotten a little girl on the way and everything, it's a lot more worse. Whereas with media stuff and that, it's a lot easier to work around and it's just more versatile, easier to do.
Yeah.
And if you can't always make it to events, you can always use. So yeah, thanks for giving me your time again, bro. I can't thank you enough.
No worries, bro.
Let's speak to you because we're just as crazy as each other.
Bro, exactly. Exactly. I think you're gonna go very far in this, man.
And you, bro. Well, we all know that's true because look where you are now.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks for taking your time again, and can't wait to see you again soon.
I will see you again soon, my brother. Guys, make sure to like and subscribe. More interviews are going to be coming soon. And if you don't subscribe, I'm going to in your face. All right. Peace out, guys.